I swear to God, you cannot give a person a shred of power without humans doing some fucked up shit with it. Honest to God. What the fuck? Hey, what's up guys, it's Hive and welcome back to our channel. Today we're discussing something that kind of flew under our radar for the past month, but was suddenly slammed in our faces while Kai was trying to work on a commission, so here we are. Specifically, we're talking about a video game content creator online named Cryaotic, also known as Cry. Just for a sliver of context, Cry has recently been accused of child grooming. This all started when a Twitter account named Lady Tia Beanie posted her personal experience with a large content creator that she previously left unnamed. Obviously, a lot of people worked out who it was. This is really hard for me to share. I'm not directly tagging them, not my style, but I post this knowing a good handful of you will know. I've been afraid of this making it back to them, but I'm choosing to not live in fear anymore. You have no power over me anymore. 2011. I was 16 when I became a fan, soon after a friend. You were 22. I admired and cared for the person you were, not the persona you put up. I developed feelings for you, and you knew. You never discouraged them, just amusingly kept me at arm's length for when you felt lonely. We're not even 10 lines in and there's already a problem here. If you as an adult are talking to someone who is underage, that's already a little bit suspect, even more so when you are in a position of social power over them, and they admit to you that they are getting romantic feelings for you, and you don't shut that down or step away. I don't even know what to say, that's just fucking gross and irresponsible. On my 18th birthday, things took a turn, and I was too blinded by rose-colored glasses to see what had actually happened to me. On my graduation day, you told me you couldn't return my feelings as you were too busy messing around with your best friend's girl. Said I was a good backup option though. Fucking disgusting. Not just because this is a fan and someone in a position of social power, but just in general. You don't treat people like that. You don't keep people as a backup option. It's disgusting and it fucks with their emotions. And their sense of self. It's all around just garbage. Garbage. Trash man. You still kept me around for those 2 AM calls when you had no one else. I started my first year of college when you told me there was someone else. Found out later they weren't of age either. But again, rose-colored glasses. I thought I was special because you kept me around when you were lonely. This is something abusers do a lot. They make you feel special in those small ways when in actual fact they're like burning your entire life to the ground. He was making her feel special enough that she didn't feel like she could leave or that she should leave, but he was treating her like shit and using her for emotional labor for when he was lonely. That's not okay, that's not how you treat people, especially not someone that you have social power over. I made terrible decisions with you, ones that hurt people I cared for, and I have to live with that. I was 20 when I told you I couldn't do it anymore, and that I was hurting. I will always remember the response I got back in which you told me that the only use I'd ever have to you was as a piece of ass. I told your girlfriend at the time everything. I woke up the next morning and you were gone, as was the community and fandom I felt comfortable and safe in for years. I was 24 when we connected again. I was looking for something, an apology, closure, I don't know. Something to fix the years of being used as your personal therapist and toy. It didn't take long for you to start up old habits. I just wanted an innocent friendship with you. I've since learned about so many other young and impressionable girls with similar stories. I didn't want a public Twitter apology, I wanted changed behavior. 25 now, and what I want most of all is freedom. I'll never get the pieces of me that you took back, but I can never replace them with something better if I'm holding on to the hurt you gave me. For anyone reading, thank you for letting me share this. I'm so sorry that she went through that, but I'm so glad that she's strong enough to talk about it. I think it's also important to note that she didn't say who it was, and I'm not sure if it was because she doesn't expect his behavior to change, or because she really just didn't want the attention and the drama, but she seems to be okay with people posting it. In response to this, Cryaotic uploaded a vague, black-screened video that we are going to react to as well.
Something that a lot of people, myself included, so before you start to think you're a fucking hypocrite, I want you to understand that I'm coming at this from a perspective of someone who genuinely does not like past me because past me was immature. Past me didn't accept that he could actually be wrong. Every single time somebody makes a mistake in the world, people are like, man, I hope nobody finds out. And I think the thing that people realize is that's because from the fucking get-go, we're just taught, man, mistake, better hide it, otherwise I'm gonna be in trouble. Forgot to actually teach lessons instead of just getting mad. So people grow up with a lot of pride and they realize, man, I'm so perfect. So If anybody fucks up, I'm gonna project a lot of insecurities on those people.
He just said that when he did something wrong, he hid it because he didn't want to get in trouble. And because of that, he grew up with pride, thinking he could never do anything wrong. But you knew you could do wrong because you were hiding the things that you were doing that you knew were wrong.
When I was younger, I started this YouTube because I didn't really have a purpose in life. I needed something to give me some kind of purpose. I didn't have any actual confidence. I got my confidence from people telling me, man, you're great. That was immature. Also, doing this, I had never really left my room for—
What the fuck is your point? Just because you started a YouTube channel based on not having a purpose in life and not having any confidence, boo-hoo, that's what we all did. That's not an excuse for not growing up as a person. I don't know why people keep using success as an excuse. And this is a problem I had with Brady Shuhai's video about his situation as well, because I understand that the people around you influence you, and I understand that the environment you grow up in influences you, but at the same time, any human knows that any kind of contact, romantic or sexual, with minors is not okay. There's even laws. Like, you don't even have to rely on your own moral compass. There's a law that tells you that it's not okay. So this is bullshit. Your success is not an excuse for you to disregard the basic human instinct that children should not be touched by adults. And then people are all like, oh, but I was successful in this particular environment, so I couldn't grow up to grow out of it. Bullshit! You grow as an individual person as well as growing within your environment. You can look outside of your environment, which is one thing that Brady Shuai did do. He got out of his environment because he saw the faults with it, which— good, could have done it earlier, but good. You grow as an individual person, okay? You don't grow as a fucking mob. You don't grow as like a big conglomeration of the sector of success that you find yourself in. Even alters in DID systems grow as individuals. If we can grow as individuals within the same body, you can grow as an individual too. Stop your fucking nonsense. Fucking abusive, manipulative tactic excuse motherfucker.
so long, I'd grown so much that I didn't realize I was a fucking adult.
There's no way that you can reach 18 or 21 and not know that the world sees you as an adult.
I've always felt disingenuous because I was never open with people about things, because I was always hiding things. I was never able to be genuine with people anymore after the fact that I cheated on my girlfriend with people who I didn't realize were even underage in the first place.
You didn't realize we're underage in the first place. Now I'm convinced that he lived under Patrick Starr's rock in Bikini Bottom, that he doesn't know when society considers you an adult and when society considers you underage. Bitch, you knew they were underage. Don't bullshit us. Don't do that. Shifting blame by saying, I didn't realize they were underage. Bitch, of course you knew they were underage. Especially if you were grooming them for this long, you knew how old they were. Especially when there was a distinct turn when they turned 18. You knew what you were doing. Don't fucking bullshit us. Don't lie to us. Don't lie to yourself. And do not manipulate your victims even further with this bullshit. It's not okay.
So yes, I'm sorry, but I promise you I'm not that same fucking person anymore, and I resent that person who I was, and I'm sorry that I was hiding who I was this whole time.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Because you say you're not that person anymore, you're still manipulating. This whole thing is you saying, oh, I was, and I was, and I had, and I don't give a fuck what you were and what you were going through. I don't give a shit about your justifications for your behavior and for you not realizing they were underage. You groomed children. You also cheated on someone with minors. So it wasn't just grooming. You had straight up pedophilic behavior. There's no excuses for that. Stop making it about yourself. You fucking narcissistic piece of twat. Not even a whole twat. Only a piece.
I've never wanted to be on a pedestal in the first place.
I never wanted to be put on a pedestal in the first place. Listen, no one should be put on a pedestal. We're all fucking human, and most humans suck. So I honestly think that standing and being a fan of is a very tricky situation. I don't think anyone should be put on a pedestal, and I don't think anyone should have heroes. You Cry got away with a lot of bullshit In fact, I think you enjoyed getting away with a lot of bullshit. So you can't complain about the pedestal that you were on that was saving you from holding yourself accountable to that bullshit.
And I think that's because I was always afraid of people knowing who I really was.
He sounds like that guy in high school who like leads you on for eons and eons and eons, sometimes to the point where things get physical. And then when it comes to like an actual relationship, suddenly it's like, oh, your innocence is beautiful and I don't want to corrupt you because I'm such a shit person. Like, I'm so fucked up, man. Shut the fuck up. You're just a fucking edgelord. Those people drive me insane. I honestly lose so much respect for them as soon as they're like, I'm fucked up and I don't want to screw up your innocence. Like, go put on some eyeliner and sit in the shower, honestly.
There's some lonely guy who genuinely is someone who would be considered a basement dweller, but luckily I live in Florida, so there's no basement.
I understand the need to cut tension with jokes, but when you're making a video in which you're very badly addressing accusations that you are a child groomer with pedophilic tendencies, maybe don't make a joke. Especially when you've said nothing other than like an offhand comment about the actual accusations. All you've done is talk about yourself.
It took me 31 years. It took me until 10 minutes before my 31st birthday to realize I was going in a constant projection of fucking nothing because I never really accepted who I was. I always made excuses, and I'm fucking sorry for it.
Okay, but who are you? You haven't said it. Who are you? Are you a pedophile? Are you a child groomer? You haven't said a damn thing, Cry, other than, poor me. It's been almost 3 minutes. You've said fucking nothing.
I'm not gonna say any more because this is not some pity party.
This entire video has been a fucking pity party.
This is more addressing the things that need to be said. I just feel like people need to be able to express themselves, be them victims or not. As soon as you start being afraid of the repercussions, you stop growing. I have in the description an unlisted video showing that I would really like people to understand that it is okay to express their feelings.
I'm not going to listen to the end of it. It's literally just him trying to get some form of emotional response out of people who have faced persecution for their own expressions. And as someone who has been bullied our entire lives for expressing ourselves or just being, fuck you. Do not use that kind of trauma to try and get people to forget the fact that you didn't say a goddamn thing in this video. Do not use that kind of trauma to get an emotional reaction out of people who want to know what the fuck is going on when you've done nothing but spend 4 minutes talking about yourself and throwing a literal pity party, though you said you didn't want to. Again, the problem we have is not that you're expressing yourself. The problem we have is that you haven't said a goddamn thing. All you did was talk about yourself and your own situation and your own excuses and your own justifications. You didn't say a goddamn thing about what the actual issue really is. The same day that he uploaded this video, Cry did respond to a tweet saying something that was actually pretty good. If only he'd reacted to this whole situation in this kind of manner. I was an adult. There is no way to paint it other than that, because that is the fact. It was never the younger person's fault, and if anyone is blaming them, they aren't hearing what is being told. They aren't. And no one deserves any malice but myself. Leave the victims alone. Now that is how you should have been the entire time, instead of making it about yourself. But here's the thing, he's right about people not hearing what is being told. Because the responses on his video, the fact that anyone liked that video is ridiculous. But there were comments. I couldn't find many, thank God, by the time I'd gotten there, but there were comments in support of him, disgustingly in support of him, and a lot of people accepting an apology that wasn't for them. His apology, as shitty as it was, is not for you, unless he personally hurt you. His apology is for people like the Tia Beanie and all the other people that he was grooming and being sexual and having some form of social power over. That's who his apology is for. And if you try to accept it for those people, you are an absolute fucking douche canoe. Then some of his friends started chiming in saying that they weren't aware, other people calling them out on their bullshit, and then them saying that they weren't aware of the exact severity of the situation. But if you were even a little bit aware that this man was talking to minors, then you're still in the wrong. I don't care if you don't know about the severity. Shane Cat, who I gathered is the ex-girlfriend of Cry, actually says that they did all know. And that's when they said that they didn't know the severity of the situation. Shane also posts a picture of a screenshot from her phone of a conversation between her and Cry when she was 16, 3 months away from being 17, and he was 23, in which they said I love you to each other. Again, she was a minor, he was 23. The day after he posts his video, Cry releases a full statement on his Twitter. The last video was posted during a manic state and is not accurate of what a proper apology looks like. I deeply regret it, as I never let the actual discussion properly be had. This will be rectified in a future video after I properly address those affected individually, instead of how I chose to haphazardly go about this vain attempt to save face like a coward so many people have done before me. It's been almost a month, there's still no new video, so I'm assuming, and we're hoping, that he's still trying to rectify it with people individually, but at the same time, that's not okay either. You hurt them. You don't go to them seeking forgiveness. You give them the option to come to you. You give them the power back. But you don't go to them. That's not okay. That's not your place. Give them the option to come to you. Do not expect them to, and do not go to them. I do not want to delete it because everyone's concerns and complaints are 100% valid and should not be skirted around anymore. I apologize for my actions, but I promise to deliver a proper, coherent explanation, keeping truly factual description with no attempt at garnering sympathy, but addressing what needs to be said when people are hurting. I needed to come to grips that I was projecting my own insecurities constantly, telling people I never cared what people thought of me, and it is time for myself as a man to address that and so much more. Thank you for your patience while I take care of these personal matters in the next few days, and I'll let my actions in the future speak for me more than these words here ever will. The day that he posted that statement, another tweet from his ex was unearthed from January of this year, where she said, I found out a month before we were supposed to meet that my ex had been cheating for all 8 months, and that one of them was a 16-year-old he had Skype sexted on his birthday. In response to that, someone said, yo, why is no one talking about this? That isn't okay. Shane then responds, it isn't okay. He manipulated not only me, but other underage girls, and he let me take on so much hate while he sat there hiding his own secrets. Someone responded to the lady Tia Beanie's original posting about this whole situation with some more concerning things. We're some of those dumb motherfuckers that believe that people can change and people can grow, and even though the things that have been done in the past are horrific, and the way he reacted in the first video and some of the original tweets definitely didn't paint him in a good light, I do think it's very possible that he's grown from who he was during those phases, and that the response of that video and the original tweets were mostly trauma response. It's how he knew how to protect himself, and it's what his brain instantly did to do so. I'm not going to backtrack on what I said during my reaction to that video. That video was a manipulative piece of trash, but I'm not against the idea that he knows that and that he is trying to grow from that and develop as a human being. Beanie makes a Twitter post claiming that Cry has been privately DMing victims and blaming his behavior on Angel. Here she says, hey, also for the record, the person you're blaming this on, how are you going to blame it on her when you were fucking around with 2 to 3 other girls behind her back? But oh no, she broke your trust. God, just shut up. Another tweet by Beanie. It was 2 days after I made my post that he texted me about making some video. I figured it wouldn't be long that he tried to contact me because I'd caught him stalking my shit before. This is how his mind works. That's not the video y'all got. Please read the last part. Hey, Chris Fox provides screenshots as insight into Cry's mindset. Someone says to him, hey, can we get a bit of context? If you're not comfortable sharing, it's totally fine, just a bit confused. Chris then responds with, he DM'd me about Ori the other day, suggesting that Ori was lying. John cleared that up with his homework, but while we were discussing, Cry actively made light of the entire situation, implying that he just needs to find out who the liars are. Does seem to be making light of it in there. Beanie responded to that, watching a victim of his struggle and come under scrutiny is fun for him. He's having fun. Chris Fox then posts something else. Russ's stream was like a eulogy for late night. It let me know who was being honest. It felt cathartic to just get it all out with him. I wanted to mourn it, but no. Burn it with fire. Erase it. We can make a better future. My hope for him becoming a better person, and for this just being a thing of the past, is really diminishing. He always had an uncanny way to dance around explicit topics brought up in the tag without making himself sound like he was the one that brought attention to it. It's never his fault. The fans started it. And that's everything that there is so far, which means there's going to be more that comes out, obviously. This is honestly a very messy situation, and we're not sure where it's going. Casey's convinced that Cry hasn't learned shit about fuck. Some of us are like, people change, people can get better, but we're really hoping for some proof that he's gotten better, but it's not here yet. From what we're seeing, there's a clear pattern of abuse and a clear pattern of manipulation that's happening here, and we can't say for sure whether that pattern is being broken or not, and if Cry is actually trying to become a better person or if he's just saying he is. I myself, I'm not entirely sure. I think honestly, until we see actual improved behavior and change, I'm leaning towards manipulative piece of trash. There's nothing that says anything else about this, except for a few accounts from people who say that they've never made them feel manipulated or unsafe. There's no actions. He's been quiet from what we can tell for the past 3 weeks, aside from messaging victims and messaging other people, making light of the situation. Oh, fucking hell. This is the thing, we're very, very open to people changing and people becoming better and people showing through their actions and their words that they are better people and that they're trying to improve themselves, but then you get the screenshots from the behind the scenes where he's just taking the piss, and it's just... But what do you guys think? We want to hear your opinion on what you think is going on with this whole situation. Are you a fan of Cry? Were you a fan of Cry? And now you're like, yeet that man back where he came from, also help me. Do you think his recent statements have been genuine and that he is trying to become a better person? Or do you think that it's all a part of his entangled manipulation about trying to get away with this in some form? If you want to stay up to date on the situation, we will be keeping an eye on it. So hit that subscribe button down below, and if you want to see any of our other content, there's a video right there that you can do that on if you want to. Great to talk to you guys again. We are so fucking confused, except for Casey, she's sticking to her guns on this one, but we will see you next time.